Hey, and welcome to another episode of us showcasing an army. And today we get to showcase the Dark Angels. Tell us about your army. Tell us about why you love Dark Angels.
Why do I love Dark Angels?
Why do you have 14,000 points of them?
I dabbled in Rogue Trader when I was a teenager.
That's the first edition of 40K.
When it was still fresh out of the box and brand new, girls and beer appeared in my life. So I put the toys away for a long time. Just before 5th edition dropped, I was at home in Liverpool. And flying back, I needed something to read. I picked up Horus Rising, and then a week later, I was looking on Craigslist for a used army. I'm like, I gotta play. I've always been a fan of the mystique of Dark Angels. It's been an obsession.
Has it been a good obsession?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's I've found collecting and playing and reading has been zen for me. Painting just takes your mind off the world.
You mentioned your wife. What does your wife think of all this?
She's incredibly patient and tolerant, and I love her very much, darling. I love you.
So what does this represent in years? This is how many years of collection here?
2008, 5th edition, so 13 years.
Wow, that's actually fairly close to when I started. I started at the tail end of 5th.
And then I hurt my back a few years ago, and I spent 6 weeks painting Deathwing. That's why I have so many.
You have a lot of them, and they look amazing. I love that. This is the Deathwing here, right?
Correct.
I love that bone white color. It really is contrasted with the green.
That's another thing I love about the army. There are 3 different flavors in the Force.
Tell me what that is. Tell me a bit about how the army plays. Like, what is it like to play a Dark Angels army?
Depends how you want to play it. You can play a fast attack, dodging around your opponent's game with bikes and speeders with the Ravenwing, and now with the new vehicles and Primaris vehicles. Or if you want to play jump in and hit them hard, you can add some Deathwing in there. I did like to run them in a Spartan or two until they became Lords of War. Throw the Knights in the Spartan.
These are the Spartans?
Yep.
Nice.
And they'd roll up and the Knights would jump out and hit you in the head.
Did they do some work?
They do work. They definitely do work, especially the Sergeants, because their flails, they're great on single wound models because damage follows through. You have the chance of killing multiple models in one swing.
Let's talk about what a Dark Angel army is. What's the lore behind it? Why do they exist? And how are they different from, say, the Ultramarines or a regular Space Marine force? Because these guys aren't necessarily Codex complicit.
No. They do adhere to the Codex Astartes for the majority of it. They have their own burdens as well, which not necessarily the rest of the chapter is privy to, given the rank and file.
Yeah,
Green Marine.
From my understanding, it's like the regular Marine, the rank and file Marines are just kind of, well, regular Space Marines. They fight, they are genetically enhanced, but the whole army as a whole has a kind of like a dark secret that they have been trying to keep since the beginning of the heresy.
Yes, so after the Lion returned to Caliban, you found Luther had gone crazy and turned the Calibanite Dark Angels to chaos. Yeah, there was a brouhaha, and Caliban exploded. The Fallen were flung across time and space into the warp.
Now the Fallen being the Dark Angels that have fallen to heresy.
Yeah.
Chaos.
So it's been the Dark Angels' deep, dirty secret.
That half their legion turned chaos.
Yeah, and they've been trying to track them down over the millennia. Some of them will pop up as single warlords, lording over a system. And now and again they'll find a warband. And sometimes they'll just find one who's just trying to live his life on a planet.
And they'll move heaven and earth to track them down, even betraying their allies if they need to track them down, hunt them down, capture them, torture them for information.
And then pop them in the head.
And so their homeworld is blown up, as you said, and what's left is like this floating rock of a portion of it, which is their monastery, their fortress monastery. That's their base, and it's huge. And it's just like a big asteroid floating around space, and there's all sorts of deep caverns with secrets and stuff like that inside, correct?
Yeah, there are many of the deepest caverns, only certain members of the inner circle can enter. It's said that the watchers in the dark are in the deepest part of the rock, watching the lion, who sleeps every night.
So yeah, that's some of the more recent lore, isn't it? That they've confirmed that in the Fortress Monastery, in this big portion of the rock, the lion, the Primarch of the Dark Angels, is still alive, possibly recovering, sleeping. Who knows what will wake him up? And he's deep inside, and that's one of the secrets they're holding. And that one day he might wake up and change the galaxy.
Yeah,
I'd love to see what he thought.
That's definitely going to be a story progression for it, because the last time the rock was invaded, Luther disappeared.
Right, that's another recent addition. Luther, who is basically he wanted to be the Primarch of the Dark Angels, and he tried to lead the rebellion. He's the leader of the Fallen. He escaped. He was imprisoned. He escaped. He's out there now, and we don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting when that comes out.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping they go into that.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
I would like to see them do that. What do you say to the conjecture, and I actually like this one a lot, that their true secret they're hiding is that these are actually the Fallen, and that what was sent across time and space are actually the Loyalist Marines. And so really we've got the traitors here, and they've been hiding it all along.
That would be fun to find out.
Wouldn't that be fun to find out? What do you think about that? What do you think? You describe, are these traitors or are these Loyalists?
No, I think these are the guys who are trying to clear their names.
All right, so these are the Loyalists.
These are the good guys. Yeah.
These are the good guys for
as good as Space Marines can be in the Grimdark.
Yeah, because some of the lore I've read, for instance, has them very much betraying their allies in the hunt for the Fallen. And yeah, the unforgiven looking for redemption. Yeah. Aren't we all?
Just a little bit.
Truly tried to be like good warriors, good people. They tried to do the right thing many, many times, and they've just gone darker and darker and darker and darker. From what I read about them in the Horus Heresy, if I was to do a Horus Heresy force, I would do Dark Angels.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Because I just think, well...
Of course.
No, really? You think you wouldn't?
But I don't know. I often look at Alpha Legion.
Oh. Got any Alpha Legion here?
Maybe.
Timmy right there. That's Alpha Legion.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about your army. So how many points do we have here?
Using Battlescribe, I got up to about 14,500 points.
That's insane, man. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've done a great job. My favorite are definitely the Deathwing, right? Deathwing?
Deathwing, yes.
I love the bone color. I love the Terminators. And I got a soft spot for bikes. Bikes are cool. And you've got a lot of them. That's the Raven Wing, not the Raven Guard.
Raven Wing.
Raven Wing.
Yeah.
Raven Guard's another chapter.
Correct. I have little favorites in every unit. This Predator, for instance, when I bought that kit, I took great delight in fully magnetizing it so that it can be a Rhino or a Predator or a Razorback. Only ever used it as a Predator, but it was just a lot of fun to play with magnets like that.
All the vehicles seem to be able to be interchangeable, and you can take the stuff off to make a Rhino or is a Whirlwind?
Yeah,
Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Magnetization is never a bad thing. It just takes time.
Yeah, it definitely takes time. The older boxy Dreadnoughts, I did magnetize them, so I can run them as there's magnets on the arm. I can run them as different variations of the Mortis Pattern Dreadnought.
What do you think about the old style Dreadnoughts versus the new style Dreadnoughts?
They're so wee.
I know, they look tiny. Think of that one. They're so tiny.
The Leviathan Dreadnought.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's this used to be one of the biggest models in the game.
Yeah. Look at it now.
Well, it's the same thing with the whole Space Marine line. Like, it's really developed. Like some of the original Marines. Like, one of the things that detracted me from collecting Marines was like, these guys look stumpy.
Yeah, given the fact that they're 8 feet tall, the firstborn Marines.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get around that when you stand them next to a guardsman. Mostly concentrating on Primaris. I think I'm done with firstborn Marines.
All right, so maybe let's work this way. So over there we have the Raven Wing. So that's a section of the Dark Angels that are specifically focused on speed and stealth and stuff like that. And almost all their units are on bikes or speeders of some sort.
Correct. Yes.
And they're painted differently. They're painted black, more like the original Legion before the Horus Heresy.
Yes. They still get into crazy projects like the Land Raider Ares. This was built as a kit bash for Apocalypse. There was a data sheet for it. They never actually released a model. It's the front end of a Vindicator, and then I built the top of it, and it has twin heavy flamers on either side.
And you said you had to extend the the plow at the front.
Yeah,
because it's actually only this size.
Yeah, the seat shield is a little bit narrower. See.
And so you artificially did, like looking at it, I can kind of tell, but you did a great job with Plasticard
and gray stuff.
So over here you've got some. That looks like a Devastator Squad.
Yep, there's a Devastator Squad with one of the old metal jump chaplains.
It looks old, but very classic. Very classic, yeah.
It definitely holds up.
And then leading the Raven Wing, you've got, is that Samael?
Yep, that's Samael, yeah.
He's not the chapter master, is he?
He's the company master of
the company master of the Raven
second
Wing.
company.
These are cool. I've always loved their flyers. That's the Nephilim flyer?
Yeah, Nephilim, and this one, the lore behind it is this is a cage where the fallen can be held.
Oh, so it's like a capture device. This is the one that goes in and sucks them up and captures them.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And then we got some Whirlwind Hyperius.
Whirlwind pattern artillery.
Yeah, I love it. They just sit in the back
and just pound them to death.
Yeah.
I like Whirlwind. They're cool. I like artillery.
Yeah, I used to really enjoy the formation where the Whirlwinds could sit in the back and one of the land speeders would be a spotter, so you didn't have.
It was cool.
To worry about that.
I will say there was some genuine fluffy formations, but in general, I'm glad formations are gone.
Yeah, I really used to enjoy the Linebreaker Squadron 3 Vindicators with the 10-inch Templar.
There's some cool stuff they did. Yeah, and then right here we've got a whole lot of Marines here.
Yeah,
you've got almost a full company there.
Yeah, there's a few. I've got a lot of veterans, which I spent a lot of time on down towards the front there in their robes.
So these are veterans in robes, and then you've got some just like regular Space Marines, the rank and file dudes.
Yeah,
and then you've got some Primaris.
Got some infiltrators,
Reavers,
and intercessors.
And intercessors over there.
Yeah, and these are some of my favorites.
Oh, those are the custom ones.
These were made for Tasha Caves.
Tasha Caves is a charity event. That you helped.
That I helped with. These were sculpted custom. Parts of it were, and so they're wearing kilts, and they're tossing plasma cabers, which kind of goes with the theme.
Goes with the shirt.
The theme of the event.
Yeah.
And the sergeant is supposed to look like Sean Connery.
And then you've got a whole lot of Terminators here.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Terminators. These are Knight Terminators, what's it called? Or those Blue Knights?
These are the Knights with the shields and the maces.
Yep.
Regular Terminators. There's shooty guys and Thunderhammer Storm shields.
I would always go with Thunderhammers and Storm shields. That's for me. That's how they would always run.
Coming out of a transport, shields up.
Yeah, they're coming out of these guys, right? These are Spartans.
Yeah. So I got about 4,000 points of Deathwing.
And you've got a lot of drop pods, and I even see a special drop pod over there. That looks like a Dreadnought drop pod.
That's one of the first edition Dreadnought drop pods.
That's really cool.
They changed the sculpt now. It's a little easier to build, I've heard. It's a little bigger. It's great. I dropped my Chaplain Dreadnought down.
A legit Chaplain Dreadnought.
Thank you.
For those of you who aren't aware, just not very long ago in the previous edition of the game, there was a moment in time where Chaplain Dreadnoughts were like the big boogeyman of 40K, and you put them on the table, and they just seem to never die, and they can dish out a lot of wounds.
Out a lot of wounds.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people running proxies of Chaplain Dreadnoughts. It was like, oh yeah, here's my Dreadnought with a different paint job. It's a Chaplain Dreadnought.
At a one big tournament, the judges were looking at Chaplain
Oh yeah, that was LVO.
Yeah.
LVO, I was there, and there's a guy across the table from me, and he was just running some regular ones, and the judges had warned that they came by and saw you running not either a they wanted either a well-converted one or the actual model. They didn't want you to phone it in, essentially. Basically, put some effort in. They threatened that they would just come yank it off the table and you just couldn't use it for the rest of the game. And so there was a board right beside me, and we were playing our game, and all of a sudden we hear this, no! And right over there, he's like, guy, tell me what this is. I don't actually know what this is.
That's a Relic Contemptor Dreadnought.
Okay. This is your leadership here, I'm assuming, here.
Yeah.
We've got, looks like a Librarian Primaris.
Yeah. And we've got one in the Phobos pattern armor there.
Which I think is one of the coolest models. Any name characters there?
Well, there's the Dark Vengeance Librarian there, but I run that as Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, yeah.
And then Belial is over there.
This is Belial here.
Yep, Stormbolter and Sword high. In front of him with the banner on his back is Azrael with his Watcher in the Dark, Patsy.
What do you think are Watchers in the Dark? What do you think they are, lore-wise?
You know,
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. I think they're non-corporeal, but they just float around in the cloaks to make themselves look.
I think they're warp, tainted chaos things that are influencing the Dark Angels.
You think so? I think it's two Nurglings, one on the other shoulder.
It could be. This is cool. This is a Deathwing banner?
Yeah, that's my Deathwing Ancient. I used a Warhammer Fantasy Empire banner there.
That is cool.
And so I cut the hammer out and I green stuffed the sword in.
I love that banner. There's a lot of love into this army. You have been collecting and painting this for a long time. You can tell this is a passion for you.
It's definitely a labor of love. They're my boys.
Anything else you feel like you'd really like to add to this army that you feel is missing? If money and time were no object?
Many say I need a Thunderhawk.
Ooh, that would be cool. One day, GW, Plastic Thunderhawk, right?
Yeah, with the lion.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the lion come back.
On a Plastic Thunderhawk.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
An Astraeus would be nice.
Yes, I think you need an Astraeus in this army.
That's an outline.
Yep.
That's
a big model. Anything you want to make sure that somebody, if they're just starting and they want to collect Dark Angels, any tips or advice for them? Like where should they start? What would be a good place to start?
Current Combat Patrol box is awesome. There's a Redemptor Dreadnought. It's a nice Combat Patrol level force, and you can expand from there.
Most of the Marines seem like a great place to start if you're just starting out. But I gotta say, Dark Angels take that and then just give you a little bit extra to play with. A little bit of that extra flavor, just kind of like, my army is just a little more unique than the standard blue Ultramarines.
You definitely got more options with Dark Angels.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a pleasure to see your army.
Thanks for having me.
You want to sign off with me?
Sure.
Tell me see you next time. Play on. That's what you do. Say play on.
Play on.
There you go. Okay, so but with me. Let's do it again.
Okay.
Until we see you next time.
Play on.
Play on. Oh, come on. Same time. Until we see you next time.
Until we see you next time.
Oh, man.
Is this going to be the blooper reel?
Yeah.